Practice what you preach. But APC governors up till now cannot come out to say we can't take this. We can't take this. You cannot. Look, it's not that you disqualified an aspirant. He's a sitting governor. His integrity has come to question. His integrity has come to question. But do you know what someone can do that? You know why I have the impunity? If not, tell me where any party in this world, tell me, would disqualify a sitting governor. You know why I can do that? That is the impunity APC has, that the way they unleash terror on Rivers people in 2019, they will also unleash that terror on Edo people in September using security agencies. If that impunity is not there, there is no way any right-thinking person will ever contemplate, not only contemplating, implementing to disqualify a sitting governor. If this impunity, if not what the hatchet is have, that what is it? We are in control of the government. We have the army, we have the police, we have INEC. So what? We can disqualify him and then unleash terror. Bring the soldiers, bring the police, arrest every PDP person. INEC, come on, announce the results. Nothing will happen. Practice what you preach. But APC governors up till now cannot come out to say we can't take this. We can't take this. You cannot. Look, it's not that you disqualified an aspirant. He's a sitting governor. His integrity has come to question. His integrity has come to question. But do you know what Shongle can do that? You know why I had the impunity? If not, tell me where any party in this world, tell me, would disqualify a sitting governor. You know why I can do that? That is the impunity APC has, that the way they unleash terror on Rivers people in 2019, they will also unleash that terror on Edo people in September, using security agencies. If that impunity is not there, there is no way any right-thinking person will ever contemplate, not only contemplating, implementing to disqualify a sitting governor. If this impunity, if not what the hatchet is out, but what is it? We are in control of the government. We have the army, we have the police, we have INEC. So what? We can disqualify him and then unleash terror. Bring the soldiers, bring the police, arrest every PDP person. INEC, come on, announce the results. Nothing will happen. Practice what you preach. But APC governors up till now cannot come out to say we can't take this. We can't take this. You cannot. Look, it's not that you disqualified an aspirant. He's a sitting governor. His integrity has come to question. His integrity has come to question. But do you know what Shongle can do that? You know why I had the impunity? If not, tell me where any party in this world, tell me, would disqualify a sitting governor. You know why I can do that? That is the impunity APC has, that the way they unleash terror on Rivers people in 2019, they will also unleash that terror on Edo people in September, using security agencies. If that impunity is not there, there is no way any right-thinking person will ever contemplate, not only contemplating, implementing to disqualify a sitting governor. If this impunity, if not what the hatchet is out, but what is it? We are in control of the government. We have the army, we have the police, we have INEC. So what? We can disqualify him and then unleash terror. Bring the soldiers, bring the police. Practice what you preach. But APC governors up till now cannot come out to say we can't take this. We can't take this. You cannot. Look, it's not that you disqualified an aspirant. He's a sitting governor. His integrity has come to question. His integrity has come to question. But do you know what Shimon can do that? You know why I had the impunity? If not, tell me where any party in this world, tell me, would disqualify a sitting governor. You know why I can do that? That is the impunity APC has, that the way they unleash terror on Rivers people in 2019, they will also unleash that terror on Edo people in September using security agencies. If that impunity is not there, there is no way any right-thinking person will ever contemplate, not only contemplating, implementing to disqualify a sitting governor. If this impunity, if not what the hatchet they have, but what is it? We are in control of the government. We have the army. We have the police. We have INEC. So what? We can disqualify him and then unleash terror. Bring the soldiers. Bring the police. Arrest every PDP person. INEC, come on, announce the results. Nothing will happen. Practice what you preach. But APC governors up till now cannot come out to say we can't take this. We can't take this. You cannot. Look, it's not that you disqualified an aspirant. He's a sitting governor. His integrity has come to question. His integrity has come to question. But do you know what Shimon can do that? You know why I had the impunity? If not, tell me where any party in this world, tell me, would disqualify a sitting governor. You know why I can do that? That is the impunity APC has, that the way they unleash terror on Rivers people in 2019, they will also unleash that terror on Edo people in September. Using security.
Something to do with the video that you just watched some moments ago on this channel, and a small matter of governor of one of the southeastern south states visiting our dear governor and River State Governor Wike, just to have a personal time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, for those of you who are wondering or asking questions. But I have guests on the program today, and I'd like to say a very good evening to my guests this evening. But I'm also looking out for your comments as well. On Facebook, we're live. On YouTube, we're live. And on Twitter, we're live as well. Feel free to type a comment in the comment section. And at some point, we'll take your calls on this particular issue. Once again, you're welcome. It is Late Night Talk, and my name is Kofi Bartels. Lots of people in River State and around Nigeria went to Twitter. And, of course, the word or the name Wike was trending. Why? Because at the time, live at the time, the governor of Edo State had visited River State and was a government house, Port Harcourt brick house with the governor of River State. And as the meeting was going on, pictures had already surfaced on Governor Wike's Twitter as the meeting was going on. So what does this portend for politics in Nigeria? What does this portend for the party, a ruling party in Nigeria and in Edo State, the All Progressives Congress, in the run-up to the election in that party? I have guests tonight. Mr. Obuah Eli is a member of the People's Democratic Party in River State, and Mr. Darlington Woju, also a member of the PDP in River State. Gentlemen, good evening to you.
Good evening, Kofi. Thanks for having me.
All right, Mr. Eli, good evening to you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. So let's start with you. Darlington, what was your immediate response when you saw the pictures of the Edo State Governor, Gordon Obaseki, in Government House, Port Harcourt, over the weekend?
Well, for me, I wasn't surprised because the first rule in the murky waters of Nigerian politics is self-preservation. And so, for Mr. Obaseki to confer with Governor Wike of Rivers was not surprising to me at all, because he needs to hold on to any available straw in order to survive the political battles that he currently is faced with in back home at Edo State.
Okay. So as far as you're concerned, no surprises there. Ms. Ella, what's your own response, please?
Oh, well, again, thanks for having me. I'm one of those, let me just tell the part of Darlington. Why should I be surprised? Why should I be surprised? In politics, alliances are part of the game. The forces that are overwhelming are trying to overwhelm Governor Gordon Obaseki in most states are not working alone. They have their own alliances at the national level of the party. So I do not think there's anything wrong with the government itself in the struggle for personal survival to seek alliances too. Even in conventional warfare, nations fight wars by striking alliances. So I think it's nothing surprising.
Okay, both of you are saying it's nothing surprising. Did you see it coming? Let me get back to you, Mr. Obuah.
Sorry, was that question for me?
No, Darlington, did you see it coming, please?
Yes, Kofi, I saw it coming because if you a good student of power, and if you are following up with the trend of events when it comes to politics of succession, and also the politics of surviving the how do I put it now, or how do I explain it? The onslaught of political godfathers in Nigeria. You would agree with me that it was meant to happen. It was only begging for time, because Mr. Gordon Obaseki had fallen out of favor with his political godfather who drafted him into the governorship of Edo State in 2016. However, Kofi, I want to say clearly that I am not associating myself with the fact that the same person who was thoroughly campaigned for in 2016, who was drafted into the governorship of Edo State, a man who mounted the soapbox to convince the people of Edo State, and indeed Nigerians, as to the competency of and the integrity of the man Obaseki. We suddenly today, after almost 4 years of Obaseki stay in office, we suddenly today turn against him. We suddenly today declare him unfit in terms of academic or educational qualifications. I find it very funny, and that is the part of Nigerian politics that actually puts me off. Okay. Because the consistent inconsistency that we see with Nigerian political operators is the reason why many Nigerians take even comedians more seriously than political actors.
Wow. Okay. So you are just worried about how former governor and current APC chairman Oshimole has treated Obaseki. That's your worry.
Exactly, because Kofi, my quarrel with Oshomole, and why I would never agree with Oshomole's arguments against Obaseki is the fact that, in fact, he is now trying to, draft another man whom he actually campaigned against back then in 2016, labeling him publicly, openly a thief. And so I wonder what has changed in the last 4 years. I wonder if an angel has appeared to Mr. Shomole to pronounce Pastor Ize Iyamu, who was then a candidate of the People's Democratic Party, who he actually labeled a thief. I don't know if an angel has appeared to Shomole to tell him or to prophesy to him that Ize Iyamu is not a saint. So this whole thing about self-interest, this whole thing about pursuing ego rather than pursuing the public good is what puts me off in the politics of Nigeria. Because like I said before, people are steadily, looking at politics in Nigeria, and politicians indeed, as less important than comedians. They prefer to watch comedy shows. They prefer to listen to Agodai than listening to a Nigerian politician. Because you actually see majority a Nigerian politician saying what they actually do not mean and meaning what they do not say. And so it's difficult for people to operate in the political space without integrity. I would not associate with that. One of the reasons for anybody to offer himself or herself for political office or public office for that matter is the fact that you are above board in terms of integrity. Your integrity quotient must be above board. And so that is why you offer yourself for leadership, and that's what makes you a leader. If you do not have it, then you have nothing to offer the people, and you are not supposed to be in front. You're supposed to go behind for persons who have something to offer to stay in front.
Ms. Selai, do you share the same sentiments, please?
I do, but not very shortly. With respect, my brother Darlington, it appears as though we're still on this second shoe of blaming the elite, the political elite. But years back, my elder brother used to fascinate me one quotation from Reverend Nimo Basi.
Mm-hmm.
He's a famous environmentalist in Delta.
Mm-hmm.
And so the degree to which people are exploited is the degree to which they allow themselves to be exploited. In other words, while to blame the elite political elite for that conspiracy and conspiratorial roles in manipulating the political system of the leadership now, we must blame people too for being docile. Because if our people are not docile and they hold our leaders accounts, the same Martin Sunday with Shomole, who campaigned extensively for Godwin Obaseki in 2016, and cast terrible aspersions. Kennedy was mentioning that he called Pastor Sunday Iyamu a thief. Far from that. He went as far as describing him as a man that was expelled by the University of Benin authorities as a law student for making a fellowship with athletes. And that crime was deemed to be too cruel to allow him to stay in the university. So he was not a person of good character, etc.
Okay.
And at the end of the training period, he mostly known to what the use of farm sites, one in character, even for them. So if the enemy was unfit to allow to run the full degree course, then a lot of people shouldn't trust him in power. That was Shomole in 2016. Come 2020, Timo Shomole is telling the people. There's something like my brother Darlington, who you said, probably John Gabriel appeared in the night and told him all the sins of Israel have been washed away, and the sins have not been transferred to his own darling Governor Obaseki.
Oh my.
So the question we ask is, why this second show? Why would the Shomole do that? So Shomole knows that the people of Edo State cannot be manipulated by his rhetorics and by his political sophistry. He won't do it. But you know somewhere in the innermost recesses of his heart that somehow the same people can be fooled again. Because people are used to listening to political soapboxes and we don't hold a business account. So come back and strike a second time at same spots. Otherwise, it would be an unimaginable thing that a politician in the UK or US, even some African countries here, will say one thing and then 4 years later will come back and say exactly the opposite of what he said 4 years ago, and people will listen. My brother, I think that more than holding the elites accountable for this death, more than holding Adam Shomole responsible for these somersaults, I hold the people of those states ahead of the election completely responsible for what will happen.
You hold the people of Edo State?
I just suggest, if they know that democracy, its basic definition is government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Okay.
Then the people should rise up and take their place. The people have been held down for too long, for much too long. And you know, we've done over 21 years now,
Okay.
uninterrupted democratic rule.
Mm-hmm.
And the child of 21 who is smart already graduates. So cannot be talking about these basic elementary things about taking responsibility for who becomes a leader and who cannot be a leader. The people must rise up and ask questions. The people must rise up and interrogate the system, interrogate the leaders and put them on the spot, hold them account.
Okay.
If you say a thing, tell them to use words, and that's bravery enough. That's an integrity. If you cannot be counted for something, if you cannot stand up for what he said and be held account for what he said, and then I don't think you deserve the role of a leader anywhere.
Okay.
But like I said, instead of blaming the leaders alone, I will put the blame squarely on the shoulders of the followership.
Okay.
If they cannot hold a similar account on this score, they will get over it and they will have another second repeat on that 4 years.
So you are saying, as far as you're concerned, Oshomole, as a leader of the APC nationally, that is the national chairman, and leader of APC in Edo State has no blame in this issue, in this matter, in the fracas in the APC in Edo State, but is down squarely at the doorstep of the people of Edo State. You're blaming them. That's what you're saying, sir.
I'm saying, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, if you bring your goods to the market to sell, and you do not find buyers, won't you take your goods home? If you bring your article to the market to sell and you don't find buyers, won't you take your goods back home? So if you surely come to the Edo marketplace to sell Pasezeyamu, 4 years after you destroyed him in the same market, and the people refuse to buy him, when he become governor, he won't become governor. And lessons be learned.
Okay.
So I'm saying that the ball is squarely in the court of the people to hold Oshomole to account. So people do not manipulate you every other 4 years. And moreover, I'm not even going to the other details. Oshomole himself has got himself to his standards that he has come to fight bolsonarism in the politics.
Okay.
He fought as an ACM government candidate. He fought the late Tony Amiri to stand still.
Okay.
And the mantra that he preached that became the unique selling point for him was to kill bolsonarism. So what had gone wrong now between him and Governor Obaseki? I'm not going to go into the details of how Obaseki said well or well. But I'm saying that let people be measured. Oshomole himself said, and I want to paraphrase him, that when they mix at those states, he does not want to be remembered as a governor by the number of red roofs when they do houses and the number of roofs he builds. He should be remembered as a man who killed godfatherism in those states. I'm paraphrasing him. So if we hold people to account for what they say and what they do by time, then 4 years down the road, even 8 years, even 10 years, you cannot come back and eat your vomit and also and done, Oshomole has only one vote by law.
Okay. Mr. Would do you subscribe to this view of your counterpart, your colleague, Sobey, like that the people are to blame or share a significant part of the blame of what's happening in the APC in Edo State?
Yes, I associate myself with his argument. His argument is that he is trying to say that it will be foolhardy for the people of the Edo State to repeat, because accepting Pastor Izeyamu, unless something happens and on the 22nd of this month, Izeyamu does not turn out to be the flag bearer of the APC in Edo State. Other than that, if Izeyamu is presented by the powers that be in the APC in Edo State, it simply means that Oshomole and the rest of the leadership of the APC in that state have given the people of the state plenty of questions that they can easily answer. And what are those questions? Such as, number one, how come this man you told us was unfit to even go through a 4-year course in the university? How come this man you described lavishly, spectacularly, and fantastically as a thief? What has suddenly, who baptized him? Who rechristened Izeyamu? Who has made him whole? If I must quote from the scriptures this evening, who made Izeyamu whole? Is he no longer a thief again? So the people of Edo State have these questions to answer. And if they refuse to answer this question, I think that posterity will hold them. Let me also add to what Barrister Sokwela has said. Let me quote Oshomole again. Let me put him on the spot again. And I quote, that is very important. If you say he will disappoint me, I am not the state. I am only one out of about 4 million Edo people. So his obligation and his loyalty should be to the people of Edo State. The oath of office he is going to subscribe to says that he will defend the Constitution of Nigeria. He will do everything to uplift the quality of life of Edo people. Nothing in his oath of office will include, I shall not betray my predecessor, because I have no interest to be betrayed. For me, I have presided over the Nigerian Labour Congress for 8 years, and I had a successor. There was no story of me having a conflict with my predecessor. This is because a conflict only arises when you refuse to accept that when your tenure is over, it is over. Adam Ayo Oshomole, on the then governor-elect of Edo State, Governor Obaseki, and it was published on the Nation newspaper of October 25, 2016. That was before the swearing in of Obaseki. And the title of that article is "Obaseki More Competent Than Me."
Wow.
So what I'm saying? So for me, I have nothing to add. I have nothing to say. I just feel that for a man to suddenly from assault after 4 years, it needs so much to be desired about the integrity of the man Adam Oshomole.
Okay, gentlemen. So both of you are you both saying that it's all down to Oshomole, or it's all down to the people of Edo State, or both? Darlington, I'll come to you and I go back to Mr. Eli.
Yes, I am saying, because in every political grouping there must be a leader.
Okay.
And believe you me, everything rises and falls on leadership. And if Oshomole decides to make himself so cheap as to throw his integrity to the dogs, then I also think, like Barrister Sokwela has said, the people should rise up, including those in the APC. They should have to rise up and ask questions. how come, what has happened, what has changed? And so for me, I'm laying it on the doorstep of, first of all, leadership.
Okay.
And most importantly, the people. Because he has just one vote. He might be able to manipulate the internal process of the APC, but it will be more difficult for him to manipulate the general election. And that is where the over 4 million people, very intellectually mobile people, those people are very widely traveled people. They are not illiterate at all. And so I believe and I trust that they will make the best decisions for the state going forward.
So Mr. Eli, over to you. If you were to look at go by what you've said, you know that you seem obviously you're not in support of what's happening in your party in Edo State. Would you want to see a Gordon Obaseki who, obviously from what you've said, did no wrong? Would you like to see a Gordon Obaseki win the forthcoming election based on what you've said, Mr. Eli?
Again, on the way forward, and I want everybody, you to run the way forward, is the regime of
double standards. People should not be known for equivocation. They blow hot and cold at the same time. If you listen to the quotation, the extract that Darlington read a while ago, you'll find again that Shumole held himself up to a very high moral standard, where he says that the oath of office that Governor Obaseki sold to our government of the state in 2016 should be the standard for judging him. And that he, Shumole, should not be the standard. What I said with me, my friends, is whatever is given in a house in terms of the relationship as past governor and governor, they are completely irrelevant in this debate. What should account for the return or not of God's Obaseki should be how he discharged his duties and functions in the office of governor of Edo State. And the only people who hold the mirror to show whether or not it fights that responsibility are the two people, the two voters. Thankfully, let me control the thoughts of my brother Darlington. The two people are highly cosmopolitan, they are widely traveled, and they are not people who should be bamboozled by any man's theatrics. But above all, sir, I want to say this, and I want to be corrected. Hitherto, and even now, Edo has a very highly respected traditional institution. The number of minutes speaks is what is law. Would the Shumole want the man to rise up to speak in this matter? Or is the Shumole now the new Oba of Benin, whose word is law? Otherwise, if the Shumole is not operating in the monarchical system, then she allows the democratic system work. If you are even smart enough, you know, allowed God the battle to go through the trials and fail. You are the one that set the examinations. As national chairman, you picked the committee to screen. You picked the committee. You decided on what mode of primaries would happen. And 2 days after you sent a letter to INEC, you called a national committee meeting to ratify your personal decision, which is not known in the APC constitution. So on every step of the way, you're seeing a consistent pattern of manipulation, where a man who is a national chairman who should rise above boards has made himself an interested party in the matter. So if you think Obaseki is not popular and complete for the office, why does that line go to the wrongs? That the people, first the APC people should have rejected him direct primaries that you also said. Now you're not allowed to happen, you're disqualified him. So the ball is back in the local court. Unfortunately for us, our constitution does not allow for independent candidature. So let the people for whose sake Obaseki swore to the oath of allegiance on the oath of office in the first schedule to the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, let those people hold him to account.
Okay.
There's no people whether they're APC, whether they're PDP, or whether they belong to no party at all.
Okay.
Let those ones exercise their powers under the Constitution to decide for themselves who should lead them in 2020.
Okay,
and
so
let nobody
Mr. Eli,
powers of the Oba of Benin. Yes.
Yeah. You're not being direct in your answer. So, but I want to get just glean from what you've just said. You're saying let the people decide. That's what you're saying basically. So, are you saying that you want Obaseki to win based on what you've said? The sins of Oshomole, he has become sort of a Judas Iscariot in the APC, at least by what two of you have said. Would you be looking forward to seeing Oshomole's candidate, the anointed one, Eze Yamu, lose, meaning that Obaseki, if things go according to plan, win? Because the governor of Rivers State today has given a press conference. He said a lot about this whole case. I'm sure you watched the video, so I don't have to say anything more. So it means that Obaseki is on his way to becoming the candidate of the PDP.
Community address that.
Yeah.
I forget. With respect to the governor of Rivers State, with the greatest respect to his office, I do not agree with all the things he said.
Can you repeat yourself, please?
Sorry?
Could you repeat yourself? I didn't get you.
I said with respect to the governor of Rivers State, and with the greatest respect to his office.
Okay.
I do not agree with some of the things he said in that video.
Okay.
So many. And I can explain exactly.
Please go on.
Yeah. For instance, the governor himself said when the journalist put a question to him whether or not Obaseki was coming to the PDP, some kind of smart something there, and ended up saying that it will be great for the governor coming. But it was only the APC and the Nigeria Government Forum accountable for what has happened. And I'm saying that is double speak. This same governor now was a minister when then PDP government, even when the governor of Rivers State then was the chairman of the government forum, was harassed, non-stop, was intimidated severally by the powers that be in Abuja. And the government forum did not back and did not bite. And just before 2015, this 2015, the fact of it fresh in my mind. Now, as a major player in that system, it does not lie in his mouth today to call out the government forum and say they're not backing, they're not biting about what's happening in those states. We agree that what's happening in those states is wrong, but there are those who cannot condemn it. There are those who have the moral grounds to condemn it.
Okay. But those who condemned it and who stood against it in the past are seemingly now the ones who are perpetuating it.
Well, I'm saying the same thing. People should be held to account for what they do part time. The bad thing about our politics is we don't have ideological backgrounds. People just enter politics for their own pocket sake. We don't have basic principles. So people are allowed, or somehow the system allows them to get away with the law. Otherwise, people hold the account for what they've done at the power point in time. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you cannot come back and tell them another thing. We simply tell you, you can talk, but then guilty as charged. So whereas we're arguing that what's happening in those cities is wrong, it does not lie in the matter of every talk we can carry to come and say the same thing, because some people, as special political actors, have done worse or will even do worse. But simply saying that all of those characters like Oshomole and others who are twisting the political process to get the predetermined end. Every anti-democratic move is condemnable and condemn it in no uncertain ground.
Okay. All right. Miss, before I go back to Mr. Waju, and would you, Miss Eli, you're a member of the PDP, APC in Rivers State. Sorry, I think I was slip of tongue. You're a member of the APC in Rivers State, and I'm asking you a simple question. Based on all the things, the sins of Oshomole, Adams Oshomole, chairman, national chairman of your party, which you've so eloquently enumerated, would you be comfortable with the idea of an Obaseki, Gordon Obaseki of the APC, of the PDP, being sworn in as governor of Edo State? Or will you campaign as a member of the APC for Isayam? Simple question.
Well, my answer is straight and simple.
Okay.
As a deputy member, I have been
All right.
seeing the president, who is the leader of the party, sit down and watch a repetition of what happened in 2019 that made us lose 5 government houses even before the first ballot was cast. One of the repeated situation where the president goes on national campaign and picks the microphone and tells people, vote for any government of your choice and vote for me for president. If that were not to be the case, we would not be here analyzing what happened in the state. Because we are seeing reason to believe on the basis of the constitution say he who is wrong should be punished and he who is innocent should be set free. What that means is that we will not be here contending because the constitution of the APC allows Godwin Obaseki the right to go for a second term in office.
Okay,
right?
Miss Ella, we know that. I'm just asking you. Yeah. It's a simple answer question that requires a simple answer. You know, will you be comfortable with the idea, or will you be happy if Obaseki wins on the platform of the PDP? Simple.
I'm saying that if let's take up and go for that platform, it's not wrong with that, provided his victory is built on the majority.
Okay. Will you campaign for your party man or your party's candidate? Is it Yamo, potentially?
I'm saying that even my president went on campaigns last year and asked him to go for governor of the choices. So if the president could do that, then what's wrong with me doing this?
Okay. So you okay. Let's go back to you, Mr. Woju. Will you be comfortable with the idea of an Obaseki becoming the next governor of Edo State as a member of the PDP?
What's wrong with that?
I'm not. I'm just asking you a question.
in the first place, if I were to put myself in Obaseki's shoes, what would I have done?
Okay.
Number one, the party, like Barrister Obuah said, the national chairman wrote a letter to the INEC informing the INEC that a direct primary mode of election or selection would be adopted in Edo State. Whereas there was no formal meeting by the NWC of the party, the National Working Committee has not met to formalize or agree on a particular mode of primaries for Edo or those things. And so he took unilateral decisions which are anti-democratic just to massage his own ego and selfish pursuit and interest. And at the end of the day, he set up a team that even the competitors knew beforehand how it was going to end. And he kept on shifting the goalpost to favor his anointed choice of candidates. And so the man was disqualified at the end of the day, even without him going to the field for party members to decide who their candidate should be. And so the man has the right to exercise free choices under the Constitution. And I'm wishing Obaseki well. If he goes to any other party and the people of Edo State vote for him over and above the candidate of the APC, he deserves it. And so it should be a lesson for other political godfathers, overbearing political godfathers who will not allow stakeholders decide who the candidates of the party should be. I think it should be a lesson, like Barrister Obuah also mentioned. Mr. President went to Imo State and openly, canvassed vote for himself without canvassing for the candidate of the APC. He clearly said, vote for any candidate of your choice and vote for me.
But the candidate of the APC then was not the candidate of the APC.
The the confusion that we are seeing today in Edo State also played out in Imo State, also played out in Rivers State, in Zamfara State, and in we lost back Ogun State.
Benue State.
It was the same thing in Benue State. It was the same thing. We lost in some of the states even before the blast of the whistle for elections to take place.
Okay.
We had
So you are saying you wish an Obaseki potentially of the People's Democratic Party well.
The PDP, I wish him well.
Will you, Darlington Ward, you member of the APC, be campaigning for an Ize Yamu of the APC as candidate for the Edo governorship?
If I were, let's assume that the National Party decides to pick me as one of the campaign officers for APC in Edo State, I will turn it down.
Wow.
Because it is against my principles as a person.
Amazing.
And my principles are much more valuable to me than my political party.
Okay. All right. So Bayala, would you be so strong in your because I didn't hear you say that. Will you be wishing Obaseki well in the PDP, and will you be refusing to campaign for the APC's candidate, potentially Ize Yamo?
Kofi, I will not campaign for him. Neither will I campaign for the party, because the last information I have about him is his damaged products and shown dropped in the dosage 4 years ago. I will not campaign for a man of respect for university for his atrocious criminality, for baptizing his students with acid. His state of respect is not qualified character-wise to be governor. And until that damaging advertisement is passed with copious evidence, that's who he is. I cannot market that kind of candidate.
Okay. Gentlemen, I want to thank you. Please hold on, because we have comments that have been pouring in. I'll read a few of them and then I come back to you. I want to thank all of you who've been patiently waiting on the other side while we played our intro. We played it for a bit longer than usual. But anyway, Joel Ugbana Heaven says Ignatius Nigeria University of Education students need help of well-being real estate people. Okay, what's going on there? John James Elliot, good evening to you. Decency Dan, good evening to you. Kelechi Kenneth, good evening to you. Teddy Livinus Abo, good evening to you. Mr. Israel Beregbara says, still about the university, good evening to you. Just say good evening to Festus Kingsley Onyije. Vincent Ogenekere says the political situation in Edo State is an inevitable reality from the do what I say of Oshomole to the I can do without you of Obaseki, down to the various forces that meant that both players continue to walk in different irreconcilable directions. He says it's inevitable. Okay, thank you very much for that particular one there. Gentlemen, about Oshomole, based on what you've all said, it seems quite clear that you as party men, you as members of the All Progressives Congress, are not happy with his leadership. You've all mentioned, states where the APC lost out. We can talk about the power tussle and the godfatherism in Benue State. We can look at what happened in Zamfara State, where there was no representative for the party. We can look at what happened in River State, no representation for the party. We can look at what happened in Imo State. It's just the grace of God you guys got something. Bayelsa State. Yeah. And
experience, which ordinarily a sane national chairman should have turned in his resignation letter, because he set up the committee that screened his candidate.
And if care is not taken in River State in 2023, you still have no candidate. Based on what's happening now.
You are not one of the prophets.
I'm just saying if care is not taken. I mean, if things continue the way they are, with all the court cases and factions and disagreement, it may just happen.
When we get to the issues of determining or deciding who the candidate should be for the APC in 2023, 2023,
I see.
we'll cross that bridge for sure.
Okay, so obviously you are comfortable with what's happened in the party so far. My sense that
Political parties all over the world are set up to, have people market their ideas about. You do not have no single individual has the best, what I will call the best world view of handling issues. And so you have persons, even among children of the same parentage, they have disagreements, they have issues. And so for people from different backgrounds, with different kind of political thought coming together to galvanize, to form a political party, there surely will be disagreement. We disagree to agree. And so whatever you see in the world of Catholic Bible, if you see the political higging that is going on, do not be afraid. It will end someday, it will end somehow. It might end in the court, or it might end on the table of peaceful resolution and dialogue. These are the two options.
Okay, interesting. So, Mr. Eli, what do you say to that?
Again, it's a regrettable thing to have to bite our fingers. This thing, and I don't know who was the original maker of this very wise statement, that you don't change a winning team. I can't be sure of who made that statement, but I really have that respect for them. His Excellency Chief John Yegu, gentleman, Paracolons, former Federal Permanent Secretary, who rose to become governor of those states in the early 90s, was our first elected national chairman. And I'm proud, happy to be part of the national convention that elected him as our national chairman. That man led our party to a decisive victory in 2015. Are you with me?
Yeah, go on, please.
Now, looking back, the Hawks in the APC, today we're talking about a party that is so divided, broken into bits and pieces. So much so that today, on this same subject that you're analyzing here with us now, there's another part of the APC university that will come and will say something entirely different. Whether or not it is consistent with logic, whether or not it is consistent with common sense, whether it is consistent with what rational human beings should do or think is immaterial to them. That's how much I've been broken and divided by the Adam Oshomole leadership. That's how we lost 6 states straight away into consolidating. That's how we sweated to have a president re-elected in 2019. So like Darlington said, in tennis climes, this national chairmanship are playing in the tower. But because he was unable to come down to the level where he could resolve conflicts with his experience from the labor union, one had thought that Abraham Gobo would be a good manager of conflicting interests, of tense environments. If you have a labor movement, they have three tools, they call it negotiation, they call it consultation, for confrontation. I'm not even applying the first one. So the party is running to the ability to come appreciable election. And that's why it has come to its own home state. And he hasn't added on that dimension to the confusion. For the first time, the sitting governor is qualifying. So he certificates for enough to qualifying to run office in 2016, but 2022 certificates are no more eligible. You can imagine the drama. So for me, it's a shame and a matter of serious agony for me, personally, that the same victory that will go from another new governor, who comes from the part of the country with him, John Yegu, and couldn't consolidate properly for him up there. And what I talked about coming back from the elections of 2019 and then this year, I would have had the national chairman to be more sober, more separate, and look at the issues more dispassionately and act less aggressively. So you carry all of the contending forces along. I'll have a consolidation. I have the PDP should not be a threat in the election this year. That's one state where APC have maintained a consistent grip in the time of ACN. So the PDP should not be. I'm not telling you this. Unfortunately, by our own hands, our national chairman has led us to a point where our governor, right now in the state, then the family has been doing, is knocking the door of the PDP to be let in there. It's not, and the PDP is in the conditions. And don't forget, some of the conditions are so appalling. Imagine asking him to drop the very deputy governor, Felix Obuah.
So,
don't forget, Felix Obuah is not family like Shomole. But the PDP is that hell-bent goal and coming to again. So these are the issues that bother me. I wish the national chairman led the party otherwise. I wish it was more temperate. I wish it was more gentlemanly. I wish it was more accommodating. We wouldn't be talking about this very time. We're talking about anything elections. If Pastor Obaseki is the able, I respect him. Inside the world, she said about him. If the PDP was good enough for him, it was not popular enough, he should have stayed back in the PDP. What did he come to do here? They are coming here, and here we have a confusion in the house. Today, our government is heading back to look for us to have a ticket in the PDP. This is a tragedy, an unimaginable tragedy.
Okay, so let me come back to you, Darlington. Before we go, Mr. Wuju, it seems that Nemesis has come back to haunt, not Nemesis, but your Achilles heel has resurfaced. Your Achilles heel this time being the governor of River State, His Excellency Governor Nyesom Wike, the man who held your party to a standstill in River State not once but twice. And he, is now involved. As far as he's involved, maybe and just maybe, this may portend, signal the end of the road for the APC in Edo State. What do you say to that, Darlington? Would you please?
Because the governor of River State is involved.
Yes, indeed. That may signal the end of. Because today he's been speaking and he's been saying a lot. You watch the video yourself. He has a lot to say. That the governor's he spoke. He addressed the matter head on. And then when Obaseki was in Port Harcourt, the meeting was still on when the pictures just flooded the social media space. So he's reveling in it. This is where he can really show his ability. As a political force, he may not be big on all the strategy that people want and policies, but when it comes to fighting for election victory, that's his terrain. He's been doing it way before he became governor. So now that he's gotten involved, and now he seems to be on form. He's enjoying it seemingly. Should the APC forget about Edo State for now and save some money and some effort and even some lives potentially?
Well.
Is Governor Wike getting involved in this matter now? I mean, I'm sure you must have had a bit of what do you call it, deja vu of sorts. You know, they say once beaten, twice shy. What's your take on the governor getting involved in this whole issue? Actually, he isn't it?
I just have to have a good laugh. We should be very careful not to create bad mouth in front of our politicians. Yes, people tend to say Governor Wike is a political maverick. Yes, but people forget that on the scale of looking at both sides, it's not quite true. It's not quite true. I can recall immediately now past similar past visits to the little Mecca that the government has undergone. And we knew how it ended. Minister Obuah came here trying to run for president. He was beaten, back in the backyard here at Stadium, beating blue and black by people. All like Saraki came, all like Rabi Musoko Kwanso came.
Okay.
All of them were trashed. At the governorship level, people like Governor Samuel Tom of Tennessee came here when he was taking the election. And Samuel, after he lost the ticket, went back for the governorship. Both of them escaped by whiskers. After they came to government of Tobago, they escaped by whiskers in Sokoto and Tennessee, respectively. The governor Shei, what he did for your state, Lincoln is right in Tobago from NYC. I didn't see him in that government as he won effortlessly in the one state. So this whole myth was creating. I believe I cannot see. We had an all-sweep team, an clean sweep of the PDP in 2015 in the United States. But when the courts ordered the own elections, you and I know how many seats the PDP lost. Meaning even the governorship, the Supreme Court had not spared Wike, would have had a pure test for the first time. Now, in 2019, we would have had a rematch. That rematch did not happen because the court had intervened in the case of APC. And of course, on the route to that junction, the APC had an opportunity to test the microphone at the Port Harcourt 3 road elections. Remember when Victor Horn left the seat to become Port Harcourt mayor? He got the results went. So I do not know where this invisibility is coming from. The APC has not really had a real test with the PDP after the PDP lost power in Abuja. Somehow they've been locking, somehow fate has been on the side, somehow internal revolution in the party judiciary has allowed that happen. So I do not see how those visits some have to mark out anyone as invincible. Why we have a sympathy for Governor Obaseki because of what has happened to him, because we don't like injustice generally. We will not sit down here and say because he came to Port Harcourt, therefore automatically that will change the dynamics in those states. I would not buy that.
No, so like the examples and the points and excuses you're giving, talking about the fact that the Supreme Court intervened, the fact that the second election in 2019, court also had a say, but all these court cases and all these things that are happening are all part of the political games being played. I mean, are you going to tell me?
No,
so Bella, are you going to tell me that Wike didn't have a hand somehow? I mean, we all know what happened. What happened to the deputy, the running mate of Awara? What's his name again? Man, I'm trying to Bombaye, who went to government house and sat down there and meekly, disowned, the whole project.
Kofi, I've seen, the first time I cast a vote as a Nigerian was at the June 12, 1993 elections. At cost 18 years threshold I could vote. Do you know what Abdullah won the election with a defective ticket? He was a Muslim in a country that has plural religions and serious hostility when it comes to religious matters. His vice presidential candidate was a Muslim, Babagana Kingsley, and yet they won against the Muslim Christian ticket of Ashiru Rahman Tofa and Sylvester Go. Do you know why it happened? It's Abdullah's personal currency. It was his personal profile. It was his philanthropy that spoke. It wasn't because it was manipulating the system. No. It wasn't so.
Okay.
Even when the judge, even when the judge trying to like manipulate the system to have a midnight judgment, basically, to stop the election, received by the Maverick after the very day, of better Nigeria. Remember what happened? Elections went ahead and they won. It was Babangida, the evil genius, that modified the elections. So I do not see manipulating candidates. Okay, where is the Kofi Bartels now? Where is he now? What is he playing for the government now?
Okay.
But by the way, the judicial issues, most of those matters are not determined on the merits. As a lawyer, I do not count those things as leadership because if they have been determined on the merits, those guys should not be back in court now to get the legitimate interpret what's been concerned over the possibility of the Congress. So let's not even go there. I'm saying that although they are saying that in politics like in war, fair is foul and foul is fair, but I don't think that the economy is a don't forget, Atiku and others returned to the PDP just a year to, or less than a year to the election. So I came out and yet when they came to Obama, the first four candidates in that convention were APC returnees.
Okay.
So where is the invisibility we're talking about?
Okay.
Atiku came and trashed everybody in the backyard there. So let's deal with issues with some kind of circumspection.
Okay,
Obaseki has a sympathy because what has happened to him. But to say that the impression or the intervention of the governor will dramatically alter the equation is a far-fetched thing.
Okay, before I go back to Mr. Wuju, Mr. Sobeyalai, like Edo State, like River State, or let me say like River State, or should I say like River State, like Edo State, we're seeing things played out in River State somehow play out in Edo State. Where do you think the APC in River State is heading? What are your thoughts on what has happened in recent time regarding the court's decision to install a caretaker chairman of your party?
Well, I shouldn't be saying this publicly. I was already money to try to appoint it. I have taken on my friend Chukwuma,
okay,
one-on-one personally. On what my thoughts are. I sent a video where he spoke at the April 2018 congresses, about the state congress, and I asked him what has changed.
Okay.
You know, for what he said in that video and now. And he told me that as a lawyer should know that he has taken the key behind the law because the court has spoken. And I asked him, well, for a lawmaker of your standing, a matter of the paper by which you have seized power, you didn't wait for the law to speak. When a lawmaker, for a QB in the law, you didn't need to wait for another arm of government to speak or the judiciary to speak. You have done this. I'm talking about the same consistency. So I've told him, for as much as we can, I'm not going to member of the Senate committee. So I'm not going to be that meeting where he waits, where he leads now. But where we are, we're watching as key stakeholders. If he comes, and I didn't hear him speak on people, he told me about feelings because I didn't speak like when we came to make peace as a leader. Otherwise, if he chats in neutral path and tries to chat as part of peace and reconciliation, I'm very sure his mission is simple. The business of conducting congresses is not his business. The National Executive Party was sought its powers in the APC Constitution 2014 as amended, appointed the Isaac Apo de Bobula Cabinet Committee. It is that committee that Agoma challenged in court. The Constitution has committee appointed thereof. As we speak here, the National Committee has just spoken yes on what to do with that judgment, whether or not appealing or not. But Isaac Apo de Bobula, the chairman of that committee, the Cabinet Committee, that was declared by Judge Emeji, the Lord, the High Court of the River State, the Judge of the High Court of the River State, was also sued in special capacity. There are three persons that suit. There is Isaac Obobula, there is Adam Shobole, and there is Isaac, there is APC itself. So the man has fired them to appeal, and the attention to arrest the judgment by filing a state of execution. So in the APC speaks at the national level, they will know what to call it. Now, if the APC says they're not going to appeal, now let's proceed. then I go and city to stabilize the ship. When the national will call for the Congress, and we'll have our structures on ground. Thank God if you have these enemies. To be able to sort all this out, not for COVID-19, before the year back. Then by 2021, people have enough time to rebuild the party and then for 2023. Except that if you know that don't go, except that for the sessions goes elsewhere. Actually, there are also another party for another interest other than the interest.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm not seeing it more.
Okay. Mr. Wuchu, your thoughts on this finally. Where is your party headed in Rivers State? And are you confident that things can get back to normal with what's happened recently?
Well, I think that Barrister Obuah actually took words out of my mouth. I was going to say clearly that for me as an individual, I don't know about other stakeholders of the party, that I was actually waiting, looking out to hear what the end of this of the party, what position, what line of thought that they are going to come at it. Because the judgment or the justice, judgment is very clear but very simple. So the end of this has to tell Rivers State which way forward. And if they do that, we will now study what they have said and we will take it from there. Because since this matter has been appealed by Barrister Gobo, there is nothing much one can say. Because as the lawyers will say, that you don't speak on matters that are before the court. So my opinion will be immaterial at this time.
Okay, all right. You're declining comments, which is very interesting. Gentlemen, we have to call it a day. You've been with me for about almost an hour, if not more, and you've done absolute justice to more than an hour and 7 minutes. You've done absolute justice to this particular topic in a very mature manner, and of course enlightening manner as well. So I'd like to thank you very much for your time. Darlington Wuju, who joined me first, and Sobelai, who joined us second as well. Gentlemen, it's been a thrill having you on Late Night Talk tonight. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Thank you. All right. Okay, so that's where the cookie crumbles as far as this discussion is concerned. We'll be looking at what's been happening in Edo State, via River State, via Port Harcourt. We will leave you with the words of Governor Nyesom Wike of River State when his new friend, Governor Gordon Obaseki of Edo State, visited him at Government House, Port Harcourt. So let's listen to this, and we'll be back on the other side.
Of the state. Ordinarily, I won't speak about this because I have no business with APC. Ordinarily. But why it concerns me and why I should speak about it is because it's most unfortunate. The Governors Forum is now a toothless bulldog. They can only bark, but they cannot bite. They can only bark, but they cannot bite. It's unfortunate. And I belong to such a forum that will bark and cannot bite. It's most unfortunate. Why? From day one, since 2015, since APC took over governance, and as I had the leadership of Governors Forum, everything died. Governors Forum is no longer the Governors Forum we used to have. All of us know in this country, right from the time, till 1999, that civilians took over democracy. Governors Forum used to be a very powerful forum. That when they speak in the country, you know that, first of all, we are symbols of our states as governors. I represent River State. So if I'm speaking, River State is speaking. If Obaseki is speaking, for example, he must still be speaking. If Fayemi is speaking, he is still speaking. So also, if Erufai is speaking, Cardinal still is speaking. But since 2015, that APC took over the realms of affairs of this government, of this country. They killed Governor's Forum. It became, whatever discussion is, told us what will be the interest of the ruling party. But that was not the position before 2015. Take, for example, you remember in one of the rerun elections in this state, I woke up in the morning, I came down, I didn't see my security aides. I asked, they said the former IG, what's the name of the former IG before this one came? Idris had withdrawn all my security aids. It's supposed to be a chief security of the state. His security aids were withdrawn, exposing him to danger. The governor forum didn't say anything. You know why? The chairman of the governor's forum, who was the governor of Zafraden, Yari, is a member of APC. And so, withdrawing my aids to them, they believe that that will cripple me politically not to be active in order to win the rescheduled election that time. So, in as much as it was for the interest of APC to win that rescheduled election in River State, the chairman of Governor's Forum could not speak out. How can you withdraw a governor's security aids? In essence, you want the governor to be killed? That's the point. You see where we started having problems. And I told them, what you have started, by the time they will capture all of you, and we have not captured them, they are not like beggars forum. Even when there's constitutional infraction, where you see that the constitution has been violated, they beg. They beg. There is nothing we don't beg now. There's nothing. Governors are like, even look at the infectious bill that we talked about at the House of Reps. What happened? What happened? Don't we control are we not supposed to have a relationship with members of our National Assembly, House of Reps and Senate? And if such controversial issue, and the government has said, no, withdraw. And they said, to hell with who are you? Why? Because nobody seems to respect the governor forum again. Because we have given ourselves out. Just imagine, like I said, I don't need to have spoken about it. Obaseki is a member of APC. I campaigned against Obaseki in 2016. But the point is that it has nothing to do with Obaseki now. It is that I was talking about, the governor's forum. How can you say a sitting governor is being disqualified because that his certificates are defective? A sitting governor presented by the national chairman of APC when he was the governor. I was watching a video last night when Oshomole, as then governor, was campaigning for Obaseki. He said, in the name of God, who understands, who sees, who knows what is in the mind of every man, that Obaseki is from one of the most reputable families in Benin. That Obaseki went to the premier university in Nigeria and graduated flying colors. That Obaseki went to the US and came back with a master's degree. And when he came, he started creating jobs. That Obaseki came to help him do those things he didn't have. I watched him yesterday. He mentioned this road, Obaseki is involved. This school, Obaseki is involved. The other school, Obaseki is involved. The same man now comes to say no. The man's certificate defective. Has he apologized to Nigerians, to Edo people? How fraudulently he now presented a man who had defective certificate. A man who was the Nigerian Premier University. And the university came out to say, look, this is our product. So for me, it's not party. And I feel angry when I watch the APC governors who say they're progressive governors. No wonder their national chairman is also a progressive. So you can see how progressives behave. You can now see it now. Oshomole is a progressive. APC governors are progressives. This is what you get from the so-called progressives. To disqualify a sitting governor that has a defective certificate. In any case, let's ask ourselves a question. Who is this person who is saying that a sitting governor, a man who attended Nigerian Premier University, has a defective certificate? Who is this person? A man who does not have certificate. He is saying that my own is defective. After me I have is defective. You don't have. You see how the country is? I mean, look, I'm not interested. You see, it's to tell Nigeria APC, they say one thing, they do a different thing. And that's why I told Oshomole, practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. But APC governors up till now cannot come out to say we can't take this. We can't take this. You cannot. Look, it's not that you disqualified an aspirant. He's a sitting governor. His integrity has come to question. His integrity has come to question. But do you know what Oshomole can do that? You know why I have the impunity? If not, tell me where any party in this world, tell me, would disqualify a sitting governor. You know why I can do that? That is the impunity APC has, that the way they unleash terror on rivers people in 2019, they will also unleash that terror on Edo people in September using security agencies. If that impunity is not there, there is no way any right-thinking person will ever contemplate, not only contemplating, implementing to disqualify a sitting governor. If this impunity, if not what the hatchet have, but what is it? We are in control of the government. We have the army. We have the police. We have INEC. So what? We can disqualify him and then unleash terror bring the soldiers, bring the police, arrest every PDP person. And come on, announce the results. Nothing will happen. But they forget. You did it yesterday, you may have succeeded. You may do it today, you will succeed. But you don't know whether you will succeed tomorrow. Look at what is going on in the United States. Who knows? Who knew ever that the death of George Floyd would change a lot of things in the United States? The death of a black man. Look at the crisis. Is it the first time the whites are killing the black people? Is it the first time? It's not the first time. But look at this one. See what's happening. So, nobody should think that yesterday will be the same today and will also be the same tomorrow. No. No. It doesn't happen that way. So this impunity APC has to disqualify a sitting governor because they have the army, they have the police, they have INEC, they can unleash it on them, on the Edo people. They tried in River State, the God of River State, who gave us the will to say no. And I hope Edo people will also say no. To say no, we can't allow this. It's an insult, it's an affront on us. Nobody has ever done that. And you know, I heard that even a commissioner was the chairman of the screening panel. A commissioner from Nassau was screened the sitting governor. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my life. A commissioner screening a sitting governor and recommending the disqualification of the sitting governor. It's like his boss, his governor. The same, you know how this works, this contest is, and when I said, oh, I'm fighting government, I'm not, there are things some of us, we can't take. Obviously, we can't take it. We can't. I mean, by the grace of God, some people who are born today, they are dead. They never know they will die. They never cause their death. Parents suffer. 3 children, the day of graduation, they die. And God has helped you to this stage in your life. For you to even be a governor of a state. And then you are afraid to speak up. To say, no, this is wrong. Because when you ask them, they say, look, they will come after us. Who will come after you? The system. Whose system? Whose system? They say, oh boy, you don't understand. Yes, who will come after me? Yes. I should say, if you die today, do you die early? What about those that were born the same day they died? Were you older than them? Are you saying that God does not know anything? That He has kept you to pass through these hurdles, to even get to where you are as a governor. And you will not be able to say, this is wrong. For Christ's sake, for crying out loud, this is wrong. And then I heard the APC governor said that they are meeting to go and talk to some people. Governors begging. They say, if you don't support the national government, you will not go second term.